Welcome to the Book Review Podcast. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a single powerhouse source that promises to, really revolutionize the way you think about business growth and sales. We're talking about Sabri Suby's incredibly impactful book, Sell Like Crazy: How to Get as Many Clients, Customers, and Sales as You Can Possibly Handle.
Yeah, and this isn't just, a book you skim and forget. It's really presented as a battle-tested playbook for entrepreneurs, for business owners. It dives deep into digital marketing, sales psychology, strategic thinking, basically offering a robust system for predictable client acquisition.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to unpack Suby's pretty bold claims, actually, and distill the most important nuggets of insight from this material. We're going to explore its core ideas, some surprising facts, and how you can apply these principles. Maybe gain a significant shortcut to being well-informed in this whole world of sales and marketing.
And what's truly compelling, I think, is how the author asserts that these methods, they've generated hundreds of millions of dollars, and across really diverse industries, too. We're talking dentists, dog walkers, property investment, pizza delivery, you name it. So, let's dig into this and see if the claims hold up and, how they might apply.
Okay, let's kick things off with a concept that honestly immediately grabs your attention. Think like a billionaire. Suby argues that to achieve that extraordinary business success, you need to adopt the mindset of a self-made billionaire, particularly concerning their most valuable asset, which is their time. So, what's the core insight here? How do they actually operate differently?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the book really emphasizes that self-made billionaires, they invest only in assets that provide a positive return, period. They ruthlessly avoid low-yielding tasks, things like constantly checking email or, aimless social media posting. Instead, they focus on what the author terms highly leveraged activities. It's about being incredibly intentional with every single moment.
That focus on high leverage, that leads directly to something Suby calls the 4% rule for moving the money needle. He applies the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, but takes it to an even greater extreme. He states that a mere 4% of your business activities can generate a staggering 64% of your revenue. 4%. That's incredibly specific.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. So what are some of those typical activities that fall into that, like hyper-leveraged 4%? And maybe more importantly, what are the 96% of things Suby says we absolutely must stop doing or delegate immediately?
That's the profound question, right? Are you busy working in your business, or are you strategically working on your business? The book gives some striking examples. The 4% are those core revenue-producing activities: writing sales copy, crafting irresistible offers, building sales funnels, things like that.
Right, the direct money makers.
Exactly. And the other 96%, that's your routine tasks, administrative duties, even some customer service aspects, pretty much anything that isn't directly moving that revenue needle. Suby is explicit. These 96% of tasks should be delegated or outsourced, full stop, freeing you up to focus exclusively on those vital 4%. It's a ruthless prioritization, really. Forces you to confront how much busy work actually dominates your day.
Okay, so shifting from mindset to more tangible action, Suby really pulls no punches here. He states, as the owner, your number one responsibility is to sell. That feels like a direct challenge to the common idea that, a great product will just find its market, isn't it? What's the core message? That sales is truly the lifeblood.
Precisely. He uses this very stark metaphor. Cash flow is the oxygen for any business. Simple as that. Without sales, cash flow dies, and the business quickly follows. The profound insight here is that you can have the most innovative product, the best team, but if you don't have a predictable system for sales, it's all unsustainable. He just strips away any illusion that everything will work out fine without this relentless focus on moving product. Makes it abundantly clear sales trumps all other functions.
Okay, so given how crucial sales are, it makes sense that Suby then pivots. He talks about why investing in advertising, when done correctly, is presented as a wiser investment than savings, stocks, or real estate. He even reveals his own $500,000 learning curve, right? Accumulated from years of testing what works and what doesn't. What sort of common pitfalls or useless gimmicks does he warn against? Things he learned the hard way.
Oh, absolutely. He hammers home the dangers of chasing those silver bullets or hacks peddled by, so-called gurus. He says most of that $500,000 was just spent on useless, ineffective gimmicks. The real wisdom came from systematic testing, focusing on fundamentals, not fleeting trends. And the numbers he shares are pretty eye-opening.
Yeah.
Well, while high-interest savings accounts typically yield a meager 2-3% annually, Australian shares may be around 9.5%, real estate 11.8%. Successful paid ad campaigns. He shows examples generating returns of 305% to over 1,356%.
Wait, 1,356%?
Yeah.
That's an insane return.
It is, and this suggests that if your advertising puts $1 in and reliably gets $3, $5, or even $14 back, well, you shouldn't really have a marketing budget that you're trying to conserve. Instead, you should invest as much as your cash flow allows, effectively treating it like a money printing machine. The insight is, if you can reliably get that return, your marketing isn't an expense. It's an investment far superior to those traditional asset classes.
So, okay, if sales are key and advertising can be this powerful investment, where does Suby say we actually start? He claims most online marketing is dead wrong. Why? Because it skips phase 1. Understand and identify your dream buyer. He introduces this concept of the power of 4%, that same 4% of customers who contribute 64% of revenue. How does he advise us to actually find and understand these elusive dream buyers?
Right, and this is where it gets really insightful, I think. He calls it the halo strategy. It's about intimately understanding your dream buyer's hopes, dreams, pains, fears, going far beyond just demographics. The book suggests using tools like answerthepublic.com, see the exact questions people are asking online, researching forums like Reddit or Facebook groups. The goal is to uncover the exact language your audience uses to describe their problems, their desires. Think about, say, a dentist looking not just at patient age, but their anxieties about pain or fear of cost or that deep desire for a confident smile. That's the level of depth he's demanding.
Okay, so once you truly know your dream buyer, the next step is to create the perfect bait for your dream buyer with a high-value content offer, an HVCO. This sounds like the way you engage that huge chunk of the market, the 97% who aren't ready to buy immediately but are looking for information. How does this bait actually work? How does it shift them from just curious to becoming a customer?
Yeah, he emphasizes that if you can actively and skillfully move people up what he calls the pyramid of awareness, you can shift many of those 97% of prospects from not buying right now or not even thinking about it to becoming your customer much faster. The classic example he gives is that Louis Engel ad for Merrill Lynch back in 1948, a full-page newspaper ad.
Wow.
Yeah, 6,540 words long. And it generated 3 million leads simply by offering valuable information like what everybody ought to know about this stock and bond business.
Yeah.
It wasn't a direct sales pitch at all.
That's surprising, though, isn't it? In today's short attention span world, you're saying long-form copy still works.
Absolutely, if it's entertaining and provides value. He highlights another example of the book, How to Satisfy a Woman Every Time and Have Her Beg for More.
Okay.
Same book content, just a dramatically changed title from a more academic one. It led to 2.3 million sales in 18 months. This really emphasizes that long-form copy works if it's captivating, provides real value, and, crucially, the headline has to be absolutely killer for grabbing attention.
Right, the headline is key. So after the perfect bait, the next crucial step, capture leads and get contact details, usually via an opt-in page. Suby explicitly says 99% of businesses get this wrong. They go straight for the sale. He equates it to walking into a bar and asking a stranger to marry them. Pretty vivid analogy.
Yeah.
So what is the real purpose of this opt-in page then, beyond just grabbing an email?
Well, it's treated as the very first transaction. That's the key. The prospect pays with their name and email in exchange for your high-value content offer. It absolutely must wow them. It needs to be something they'd feel they should have paid for. The purpose is really to initiate trust and get a micro-commitment. Key elements include that headline that snaps eyeballs, a subheadline restating the offer, these ultra-compelling fascination bullets.
Fascination bullets.
Yeah, those tantalizing hints of secrets or unexpected benefits. They crank up curiosity. And, of course, a visual representation of what they're getting. It's all about building desire for the information first, not the product.
Got it. Okay. Following that initial opt-in, we move to the Godfather strategy. Making an offer so white-hot that it melts objections and obliterates any friction between you and the sale. This isn't about weak, good-enough offers, which Suby warns will be ignored in a sea of other lame, impotent offers that provoke zero action. But what's the line here? Between an irresistible offer and one that's just, unsustainable for the business, does he caution against overpromising?
That's an excellent question, and it's a really critical balance. The Godfather strategy isn't about just giving away the farm, so to speak. It's about radically reversing the risk for the buyer and addressing their deepest pain points, but doing it in a way that's still profitable and sustainable for you. Examples like Casper Mattresses offering that 120-night trial in a pretty stagnant industry, or Enso Homes guaranteeing a new home build in just 30 weeks or $5,000 in cash. They illustrate the power.
Right, those tackle major anxieties.
Yeah, exactly. These aren't just discounts. They address core fears. What if I hate the mattress? Or what if my build gets delayed forever? It's about creating an offer so compelling only a lunatic would refuse, primarily by removing those perceived obstacles, not just slashing the price.
Okay, so with phases 1 through 4 in place, understanding the buyer, creating bait, capturing leads, crafting the offer, then it's finally time for traffic. Suby makes this bold claim that traffic is a commodity, like milk or bread, with Google and Facebook as the traffic supermarkets. He says, the real issue is not in buying traffic. The real issue is converting that traffic into actual sales. But surely, doesn't he acknowledge that some traffic is better, higher quality than others?
He absolutely does, yeah. And that's precisely where the next phase comes in. While he frames traffic as something you can essentially buy, the quality of that traffic and, more importantly, your ability to nurture it is paramount. This leads directly into the magic lantern technique. It's a multi-step process designed specifically to nurture prospects and build trust over time, especially crucial for cold traffic, which he points out makes up 60% of any market. The biggest slice. It's designed to lower skepticism and increase trust by consistently providing value before you even think about asking for a sale. He likens it to a dating process, moving from Tinder to Netflix and chill to, a deeper relationship.
So we're talking about systematically delivering content, like maybe a 12-step social media audit, or tips on what not to say to an influencer, an outreach template, things that move prospects through distinct milestones towards their desired outcome. So what are the common errors people make in this crucial nurturing process? Where do they typically mess up?
The biggest mistake, hands down, is jumping to the sale way too quickly, before building sufficient trust. The book really highlights the importance of matching the temperature of your marketing message to the temperature of your traffic. Cold, warm, hot. What's fascinating is the direct correlation shown in the book. As you provide value consistently, skepticism naturally decreases and trust increases. This whole process is designed to result in itchy-to-buy leads, people who are practically banging down your door because you've already proven step by step that you can genuinely help them achieve their goals. It's a systematic de-risking of the sale from the buyer's perspective.
Okay, makes sense. And finally, we enter automate and multiply. Suby considers email his secret weapon, calls it the #1 source of revenue, outperforming all other marketing channels combined. The book states that for every $1 spent on email marketing, the average ROI is an astounding $44. That's an incredible figure.
It truly is. And this raises that important question. Why email over, say, social platforms? Well, because you own your email list. That's the key difference. It's not subject to external platform policy changes, random algorithm shifts, or, sudden account suspensions. You control it. The book also provides really practical advice on email deliverability, things like sender reputation, using plain text emails sometimes over those beautifully designed HTML ones.
Oh, interesting. Plain text.
Yeah, often gets better deliverability and feels more personal. He also gives strong advice on writing engaging emails that avoid email blindness, that tendency we all have to just skim or ignore promotional stuff. How? By being entertaining and personal, not just relentlessly promotional. He advises, be that person in their life who brings them some spice, some entertainment and excitement to their dull vanilla lives. Make your emails an event.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener, who's looking to truly grow their business? Sell like crazy isn't just about, selling more widgets. It's about transforming your business from a reactive state, maybe unpredictable, into a predictable revenue-generating machine.
Yeah, the ultimate message really is about becoming a business builder, thinking like a marketer at heart, and leveraging these proven strategies to fuel the life you actually want, rather than just being trapped in the day-to-day grind, the minutia. Suby states pretty clearly that the fate of your business lies not just in having the best product or service, but in your ability to market your products or services. That's the core.
And Suby urges us to embrace the hard work, the discipline, and to ruthlessly commit to actually implementing these strategies. He's very clear. There are no silver bullets, hacks, or gimmicks here. Instead, it's about being proactive, understanding your customers better than anyone else, consistently providing value, and then, as he puts it, rolling up your sleeves and getting ready to do the work.
Which raises, I think, an important final question for you listening. What 4% activity, what key insight from this deep dive will you take action on first? What will you do to move your money needle and really begin to sell like crazy? Thanks for listening to the Book Review Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. See you next time.